In Season 5 of Apex Legends, every single legend in the game will have a brand new ability. These abilities will be class specific. So for example, the recon characters in this game, which include Bloodhound, Crypto, and Pathfinder, they will all have access to Pathfinder's survey beacon. So this means that in Season 5 of Apex Legends, there's a very high chance that Respawn will be giving Pathfinder a brand new passive ability. So that leaves us, the community, to speculate and try to guess what Pathfinder's new passive ability will be in Season 5. So in this video, I gave my subscribers a chance to be in my videos by putting a community poll up asking people what Pathfinder's brand new passive ability should be, and we came up with some really interesting ideas together on what Pathfinder's brand new ability might be. I am Alarmix, and let's get into the video. So to start this video off, one of my subscribers that goes by the name of Yeatable, his idea is that Pathfinder's survey beacon, it will basically be able to scan 2 rings instead of 1. I think that this is a really good idea, and it might not be the most interesting idea on this list, but I think there's a pretty good chance that Respawn will actually follow through with this. It might make sense that because Crypto and Bloodhound have the added on ability of being able to scan with a survey beacon, that Pathfinder, when he scans it, his added on ability is that it will be able to scan an extra ring. And yeah, I think there's a pretty good chance that you will see Pathfinder being able to do this inside of Season 5. Our next idea on the list, his name is Maddox Buncharoon. Pathfinder would get an indication when someone is on one of his zip lines. So I think this is a pretty cool idea. Just the whole fact that in the game, when someone crosses over one of Watson's fences, Watson obviously gets the indication that someone crossed over. So I think it would make a lot of sense that with Pathfinder zipline, you would get an indication that someone is on your zipline. You know, it's always pretty surprising when you go up to high ground with a zipline. You know, your whole team is on top of a building or whatever, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, you see a team come flying up that zipline. You get absolutely obliterated because you didn't see it coming. So I think it'd be pretty cool if in one way or another Pathfinder does in fact get a warning when someone goes on one of his zip lines. Our next idea, I really like this one. Crispy said that instead of punching, he high-fives people, but he deals 5 extra damage. So right now in this meta, you have to punch someone without a shield 4 times to actually kill them. I think that it would be a pretty cool ability that with Pathfinder, you'd only have to punch someone 3 times. In my opinion, this wouldn't be very overpowered. It would certainly give you an advantage right off the bat in the game, but then towards the end game, then Pathfinder, that passive ability really wouldn't be used near as much. But yeah, when Pathfinder punches, this dude, I mean, it looks like his punches could do like 100 damage. This dude really winds up. I mean, he literally has Boxing Gloves Heirloom. I think it would certainly fit Pathfinder if they would increase his melee damage by just 5 damage, enough to get him over to where you only have to punch people without a shield 3 times to kill them. So thank you, Crispy, for that idea. Skynova YT said maybe the ability to heal on zip lines. You know, I think this is a really cool thought, and just the fact that Pathfinder, he's the whole zipline expert because, you know, his ultimate is the zipline. Maybe having him do a special ability while he is riding his zip lines, you know, that certainly would be cool or a good idea. If this would be too overpowered, I don't know. Say if you're fleeing enemies or even rushing enemies and you have a gold shield on and you can shield bat while you're on the zipline, that might be a little bit overpowered. But I mean, in the long run, I'm sure that this ability will help fuel some aggression in this game, and people will be a little bit more willing when they have Pathfinder to push other teams in the game. Dust said that you should go 10% faster on zip lines. So this kind of goes with what I was saying before and goes with Pathfinder's, you know, experience on the zip lines. He'll be able to go 10% faster. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty good thought, I guess. I mean, it would fit Pathfinder in this game. And you can always, with all of these abilities, you could always actually tweak these to actually fit them into the game, depending on if they're overpowered or underpowered. So maybe even have Pathfinder go 20% faster on zip lines. I don't know. But that certainly would be an interesting thought for quickly rushing enemies. So next, Sir Kasim Kuda said not choking on caustic gas. I think that this makes a lot of sense, obviously, because Pathfinder is a robot. Like, can someone explain to me how Pathfinder is a robot, he gets damaged by gas? I'm sure there's a way you could work it into the lore, but I don't know. I think this would be a pretty okay passive ability, and that it would maybe make the game a little bit more interesting, because when there's a bunch of caustic gas in a building, there's in fact someone on your team that can push them and still destroy that person inside of that building. But, you know, at the same time, having abilities that make certain legends immune to other legends' abilities, you may be buffing Pathfinder and at the same time nerfing caustic, and I'm pretty sure that's not what people inside of the Apex Legends community want to see. Alrighty, our next idea is from Rux. When Pathfinder uses his grapple to steal all the loot from his teammates, he gets kicked from the game. So I think this would be a great addition to the game, you know? When you just work really hard for a kill, you almost die, your teammates didn't help, and all of a sudden that random Pathfinder grapples, comes swooping in, steals all of the loot that you rightfully earned. Sir Rux, I think this would be a perfect addition to the game. You know, it's kind of incredible. This would almost nerf the stupid on random squad mates. So getting more onto a serious note now, Mason Barker said this ability that he's gonna talk about is gonna be called Metal Body. Take less damage from gas and melee, does more melee damage, and falls faster. So on my community post on my channel for this video, this was easily one of the most liked comments on that post. So I thought I had to include it. This one might be a little bit overpowered because Pathfinder isn't taking damage from gas. His melee does more damage and he falls faster. But I think that this is really cool because it really falls into place with how Pathfinder is a robot opposed to every other legend inside of this game other than Revenant. But the thing is if you have Pathfinder all of a sudden not taking damage from gas, falling faster, doing more melee damage, you know, because he's a robot, because that makes sense, then what's up with Revenant? Then why is he taking gas damage? Moving on to the next ability idea from one of my beloved subscribers. And by the way, I love my subscribers and I take care of you guys. So for the people who aren't subscribed that are watching right now, consider hitting that subscribe button because there might be more opportunities like this in the future to actually appear in one of my videos. So my next G, my homie G that goes by the name of Valak West, said Pathfinder should be able to have a thing that electrifies enemies when they try to use his zip lines and then makes them fall off or something. And then it was kind of funny, below this comment on the community post there were just a couple of people saying, yes, this ability please. So I think that this is a really interesting thought. How this would actually work in this game, I have no idea, but maybe just imagine if you have a zip line going up to the top of the building and you're sitting at the top of that building and then you see that there are in fact people coming up that zip line and there's 3 people and there's no way you're going to stop them before they get to the top of the building. Maybe on the end of that zip line there's a button you could press to in fact electrocute that zip line, and maybe you don't even have to be Pathfinder to do this. That would be pretty cool to have a change to the zip lines in this game because zip lines have been exactly the same since Apex Legends came out, and that'd be pretty cool. You could use other people's zip lines and just be a character like Caustic or Mirage, and if you see with someone coming up that zip line you can in fact click this button. Or maybe we can sort of merge the idea from before where Pathfinder in fact gets notified when someone is using his zip line, and then you could also have something like this to where you could press the button if you see people coming up. I mean, that's a pretty cool thought. If people are coming up that zip line at the top of the building, you in fact get notified, and then you can in fact, if you can get there in time, you can click that button. My lovely subscriber that goes by the name of Pathfinder, what does Pathfinder mean? He said that Pathfinder should in fact have an MLG OP flamethrower. I'm not going to elaborate on this. All I have to say to this is yes. Our next idea, this man's had the most liked comment on the community post for this video, so this man's certainly deserves to be under the spotlight right now. The skirmisher said just keep his passive the same, but when he scans it, it gives the team a temporary UAV showing enemies as red dots on the mini-map for like 10 seconds, fulfilling his role as recon. So I think this is certainly a good ground to build a passive ability off of. The whole fact that Pathfinder's passive will still be involved with the survey beacon, but then when you actually use a survey beacon, you get an added on ability like this. And I think because he is a recon character that he should in fact have some sort of ability that in fact keeps him a recon character. So I think a whole 10-second UAV once you use a survey beacon, that might be just a little bit overpowered, but like I said before Respawn actually adds this stuff into the game, they will certainly buff or nerf how it looks on paper, so to where it actually fits in the game and to where it is not too overpowered or underpowered. So do not worry about that, ladies and gentlemen, if these abilities sound too underpowered or overpowered. I think something to where just like if Pathfinder would use a survey beacon, just a full-on radar scan, that would make a lot of sense. And I feel like sometimes, at least in my case, survey beacons are a little bit forgotten in this game, and when you add on the fact that both Bloodhound and Crypto will be able to use these in Season 5, if you add something to where like Pathfinder could use it and then have a radar scan, I really think that there would be a little bit of a fight that you would have to partake in to actually get the survey beacon. I think that'd be pretty cool, that if the survey beacon is so useful that you actually have to fight to use it, at least in some cases. So feel free in the comment section to put your own idea if you didn't see the community post and you didn't put your own idea there. I would love to hear some more Pathfinder passive abilities that have a possibility to come to Season 5 of Apex Legends. If you'd like to support me trying to compete against channels that have millions of subscribers, consider leaving a like on the video because it really helps a lot. And also, if you're new to the channel, I love my subscribers, and there are going to be more opportunities like this in the future to in fact be featured in one of my videos, so hit that subscribe button. And that will be about it for me, the Alarmix, and I'll see you guys later.